Hello, everybody. I am Brandon Jones. I'm joined by Mr. Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
Let me know if you look okay. Let me know if we sound okay. Welcome to the very first Easy Allies Community Showcase. So what this is we are going to go through a whole selection of things that have been given to us by our community, specifically at the $10 and above tier on patreon.com/easyallies. This is formerly the community comments. So what we would do, just give you a quick refresher with community comments, was I feel community comments was very egotistical on my part, which was inherent in its failing, which was one, I thought it would be a tremendous gift and a boon to our patrons on Easy Allies to supply my voice and editing skills to bringing their visions to life, like I get to do with the other 8 gentlemen that I work with here at Easy Allies. Turns out, did not have the time, did not work out with production. But what I realized more and more is that the focus shouldn't be on me, shouldn't be on us when we do community comments. The focus should be on our wonderful community. And I'm so stoked with the offerings that we've gotten for the very first episode, the October 2017 episode of the Community Showcase.
Nice.
So we tell our community they can submit a comment of up to 300 words, a video of 3 minutes, or a song of 3 minutes, or a piece of art that they have done, or a photograph that they have taken. We have at least one of each.
Nice.
Which is great. We have music people have written. Some of this stuff has not been created specifically for the showcase. Like, it's not like these people found out we were doing the showcase and then they submitted something after the fact. As we move forward and go month by month, I'm going to adhere more to that, not necessarily guideline or rule, but just kind of, I'd say guideline. Just kind of steer, we really want to steer this towards the community sharing things that are going on month by month. So if you're new to Easy Allies and you're just coming in and you're working on a game or you have a music video or something that you want to show, that's a great introduction. I love seeing names in here I've never seen before, never saw in community comments. People that are creative, that they want to show people in our community what they're creating.
Yeah, well, I think one good example is like just this week after our Halloween stream, people tweeted out pictures they did of us in our costumes.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's kind of the more of the vibe, I think, you know, just, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like something that we've specifically done. If there's something going on in the community that people are talking about and you've done something to represent that. Yeah.
But we obviously, you know, this is not a sponsorship. This is not something that we want to be following a project not associated with Easy Allies month by month. But we're going to have to feel this out. We have had one unfortunate omission from a beloved member of the community, Mr. Ebo Show, put in a funny video but used a piece of music that we can't. We do have something. We have a Gundam related thing which has music behind it, which I can potentially take out the music there, but it is Gundam music for a Gundam thing. But we'll see. But Ebo Show's thing is him having a good time to a piece of music we don't have the rights to. But because I love the video so much, we're going to wrap up the stream and we're going to close out to move this over to YouTube, where it'll live forever on youtube.com/easyalliesplays. And or does this go to the main channel? This goes to the main channel, yeah. youtube.com/easyallies. And not included in that will be Ebo's video, but if you're watching here live on Twitch, you can check that out. We'll put that at the very, very end because it is funny and worth watching. But we have multimedia to get to, but we just have a lot of comments to kick things off. And legally, we have to start with Rick Hogue. I am going through all of this in the order in which it was posted on patreon.com/easyallies. We are going to go through comments first, and then I believe photographs, and then art, and then we'll finally do some video right at the end. If you want to write a song, Ebo, we can throw that song up, but if you use if somebody else's music.
Chad will explain it to you.
Rick Hogue kicking off the very first Easy Allies Community Showcase. For this, the inaugural Community Showcase, I would like my contribution to be in highlighting a game that slipped under my radar during the busy month of October, and I imagine slipped under a lot of others. Tequila Works' The Invisible Hours.
Oh, yeah. While I was searching for rhyme on Switch in my email, I was like, they've been emailing me about that, but I don't actually know anything about the game.
Well, here we go. The Invisible Hours is a virtual reality play released this month and available on PSVR. He puts play in quotes. Oculus and Vive. Nice, it's on everything. In which the player observes the happenings in and around the Victorian area home of Nikola Tesla on the eve of a grisly murder. Oh, dear. Though taking place over the course of only about an hour and a half of real time, the game itself plays out for much longer as the player can, and is expected to, traverse the Tesla home and surrounding island following one of 8 different characters at different times while searching for clues, all in an effort to unravel the knots of several overlapping mysteries. Characters include fictionalized versions of real personalities like the aforementioned Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, and Sarah Bernhardt, as well as fictionalized archetypes that may or may not be more than they initially seem, such as the disgraced detective, the ex-convict, and the suspicious and blind butler. With the atmosphere of an Agatha Christie story, I'm getting heavy Agatha Christie vibes. Custom animation for seemingly every minute of each character's actions, and a legitimately compelling story, I was absolutely floored by the invisible hours, and completed it over the course of about 10 hours of play over a single weekend. Very unusual for me. If you have a VR helmet and an acceptance of a more narrative, walking simulator-esque experiences, it gets my highest recommendation. You can see the future of VR entertainment from here, and it looks like something really special.
Nice.
Yeah, I wish I spent more time. There are so many games like this. There's so many games that I can tell could be something really special like this, like what Rick is explaining. But all I have is like, a thumbnail with like a background and maybe like user reviews and stuff. It's tough to like really figure out which one of those experiences to invest in, especially if it starts off really cryptically and maybe doesn't get good near the end. And you're like, I don't know if I really want to spend like 2 to 3 hours doing that. When is Bloodworth making the VR investment?
I'd have to make the housing investment first, so there's no VR happening.
I mean, it's not an investment I ever made. I'm fortunate enough to live in the place where we keep all the equipment, so then I can get my hands on that. But is that something? I mean, I know you like, Edith Finch and Everyone's Gone to the Rapture.
It definitely sounds interesting. The other issue I have with VR is it's always been a little bit uncomfortable with glasses.
Okay.
So I might also have to make a contact lens investment to really deep dive into VR.
Elise Willems, it sounds like she would eat that up with a spoon. The Invisible Hours from Rick Hogue. Thank you for the wonderful suggestion. I am so excited about this. Randy Verschuren is here with part 1.
Part 1
of what I'm assuming is an Easy Allies community showcase narrative. Oh boy, you ready for this? Quick, wake up. Leave her, no time, jump. A glowing, half-naked woman, fiery red hair floating in the air as if underwater. Piercing eyes that seemed to hold no single color but contained all of them. Was right there and grabbed me by the arm, pulled me out of bed. There was no way of straight towards a deep dark hole emitting a purple haze around my bedroom. There was no way of resisting her, not because she had the strength of 20 men, or that she was as beautiful as Aphrodite. She did have those qualities, but the mere sound of her voice compelled me to listen to whatever she said. There was no resisting, not that I wanted to. There was no choice either way. She told me to leave my sleeping wife behind and jump into the darkest dark I've ever laid my eyes on, but without a moment of hesitation, as if this was the most obvious thing I would ever do, like breathing or blinking my eyes. I jumped into the darkness.
That's creepy.
Curious where that one's going.
Yeah.
Hopefully that stays PG rated. A mysterious woman picking you up and throwing you into a dark abyss. Like, I wish.
Who's going to jump into this hole? Okay.
But the fact that someone's taking a narrative approach to the monthly update of the community showcase, I can't wait for part 2. I'm curious how many parts that's going to be. Is that gonna exist as long as Easy Allies is around, or are we when we hit October 2018? Are we gonna start part 1 again of a new chapter of fiery red-haired portal people? Brandon K. Gann, who must contribute, who will always contribute. Originally, I was going to talk about October 27 personally being a day for not chasing moons or establishing an assassin order, but reclaiming America from the Nazis. But the one thing that sticks with me this October is EA shutting down Visceral. In the wake of Star Wars 1313's cancellation, the newest Star Wars game that will never be was a lot of things to a lot of people. To me, it was the spiritual successor of one of my most anticipated games. Now it lies in the forever to be forgotten dreams. In the forever to be forgotten dreams category. EA has a history of shutting down studios, and this now makes the third canceled Star Wars game I would have loved to see: 1313, the Visceral Project, and the oft-discussed Battlefront 3 that was basically done. Jason Schreier's expose 10 days after the closure was what I, and I'm sure many others, needed to understand why this happened. EA's refusal to commit resources, the refusal of bringing in talent by the implementation of a hiring freeze, a too ambitious vision, Frostbite being a difficult engine to work with, internal conflict and company structure within Visceral's location, EA's improper expectations, and Star Wars holding too much pressure all contributed to the closure. For me, there are only two things for certain that are cemented from this. Single-player Star Wars is cursed, and I've become incredibly jaded towards EA. I'm very worried about Anthem and A Way Out. I'm not worried about A Way Out. I think
I don't think EA has much at all to do with that.
That game looked like it was pretty much on the rails. Yeah. But Anthem, yeah, who knows? One thing that I've also been thinking about, that's an opinion I haven't really floated out there with Easy Allies in regards to. Thank you, Brandon, for that. And just bringing that up. Like, we want to hear about you, all of you, and everything that's going on, the art you're making, the stuff you want to talk about. It is kind of nice to have a time capsule to look back on the very first showcase and be like, oh yeah, that's the month that Visceral got shut down. But I've been thinking about like Rogue One doing reshoots. Ron Howard coming in to finish the Han Solo film, and Hamill not really being into the stuff they're doing with Skywalker in 8, and being comfortable publicly saying that. But like, it seems like there's a little bit of turmoil around almost like every single Star Wars project. I haven't really been following the comic books as much as I'd like, but I don't know if there's any scandals there with stuff that they're canceling. But it just seems like, and I'm not saying this is just one component, like Brandon brought up, of just many, many, many problems that they were having with the development of this game. But it seems like if you're working on a project that Disney deems to be in a specific tier of continuing this narrative of Star Wars, like, yeah, a lot of people are going to be, you're going to have a lot of cooks in the kitchen, Right. I think there's just going to be a lot of people creatively. I know there's like this weird like 6 or 8 person like Jedi council of the Star Wars lore now.
But the thing is, it didn't even sound like it got to a Disney level at all. Did you ever get a chance to read the full piece that they did?
Not the entire thing, no.
It's huge, I understand. It's a small book, really.
It's also just,
but I mean,
it's too soon. It's too soon. It's a little tender, right?
Yeah, but the thing is just, how much detail there was, and just the fact that, like, they, from the get-go, they weren't willing to hire the people that needed to lead that project, and so it floundered in a lot of different ways.
Well, not George Lucas being involved, but like specifically Disney. Like, I'm just curious what their relationship was, and when you bring in new people that haven't worked at the studio before, that are also being supervised by other people, making story decisions, connecting it to other stuff. I wonder because they talk about just Star Wars in general holding so much pressure, and I wonder if that pressure, kind of came down from Disney, not in a bad way, but just kind of like they really have a really clear idea. I was very nervous when I heard about Rogue One reshoots. I guess that's the point I'm making. So I was like, oh no! And I actually just watched that the other day because it's on Netflix right now, and I think that movie's so great. I really, really enjoyed it, and so a lot of my fears were unwarranted. And so I'm curious how much, how involved they were, and how much of a loss Disney considers this. How integral this was in Disney's plan across the board for Star Wars.
I mean, the thing is on some weird level, this game is still getting made.
Yeah.
And
we will never know. Like,
it's going to be,
how close it
is. Just like
or was,
they talked about the game that it's funny because it almost sounds like the game will be made now is more similar to the game that was originally planned and too ambitious.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
It's weird.
See. Carl Williams talking about game development that's gone on for a long time. Since Jones asked if I was still playing Stormblood during the community comments Sunset stream, I just wanted to say that I am still playing the game and wanted to share some of my thoughts on some parts of the game. Primal battles. Out of all the primals that I've encountered in Final Fantasy XIV, Susano is by far the coolest, personality-wise. A primal personality. You know what the primals are? They're like, no. I mean, they're like Ifrit and Shiva. And like,
okay.
But there are specific boss battles that have like multiple difficulty tiers and like super rock and metal music that has no place in that game other than, is perfect for those boss fights. The fight against him, as he would put it, a memorable dance indeed. Oh, interesting. So I guess he's got some fun dialogue. 4.0 final boss. I never thought the fights with King Thornton and Nidhogg would be topped, but the final boss of 4.0, Shinru, far exceeded my expectations in terms of scale. The first two phases are good for what they are, but when the time comes to latch onto Shinru himself, the fight goes above and beyond. The setting and the music, especially the music in caps, make this fight one of my favorite boss fights in all of video games.
Wow.
Omega Raid, X-Death, aka GT's fifth dumbest villain, makes an appearance and is stylish as ever. And yes, one of his attacks has him turning into a tree. A surprise awaits him in the harder version of his fight. Yeah, I'm so jealous whenever I see people doing like super tough battles in MMOs because like I love MMOs. I wish I had time. I wish that's all I did. I wish I was. I secretly dreamed to be a Twitch streamer that just plays MMOs all day.
Play them. That's all you would do. But yeah. It's pretty intimidating to me when I see Damiani stream, and it's just like this cloud of words, and I'm like, I don't know what's even happening right now. But the music is always, I have definitely appreciated the music in that game.
The MMO memory I always have so many years back when we were first creating game trailers was playing Final Fantasy XI, and I was a warrior, and I finally learned provoke, which is like, hey, get over here, like to an enemy, and he pulls aggro. And I'm just learning the whole concept of aggro and healing and DPS and everything. And my buddy Todd, who helped co-write the Final Fantasy retrospective, was like, he's like, okay, so hit, F2 or whatever, and you'll do provoke. And I was like, oh, I must have hit the wrong button. He's like, no, that's it. I'm like, no, I did like a spell or something. Like a big pink circle exploded in front of me. And he's like, yeah, that's provoke. And I'm like, oh. Like it was weird. I thought it would just be like a sound and maybe like a little emphasis around my shoulders or something. But it was like, no, even if you're not a mage in any MMO, like it has to explode in a big thing of fireworks because people have to see it, and like they have to recognize that. So that always cracked me up. Yeah. And so, yeah, that could potentially be a turnoff for people. Well, I mean, you like Witcher and stuff. Are there any RPGs that are kind of big and flashy like that you dig? I guess Persona you were always kind of curious about, but that just have like just kind of like over the top visuals to emphasize like the stuff that's happening. Any MMO ever tempted you?
I've been tempted.
If CD Projekt made an MMO,
I've been tempted by WoW even. It's just that temptation has never been enough to get over the hurdle of okay, I have to put down a monthly fee and like have somehow a free week to just get started.
CD Projekt calls you tomorrow and they're like, "Hey, Witcher MMO, we're rolling it out.
I don't know.
We're calling you ahead of time. We'll pay for your subscription. You don't have to worry about that. We need you to be a voice of this MMO, but you have to play 20 hours a week. You're not. It'd be tempting. We have two.
Oh, I did actually pop a little bit into Old Republic. I didn't get that far.
Okay, yeah, me too. Yeah,
like I got like off of the big starter world onto like the home ship or whatever it was, and like at that point I was just like, I don't know what to do next. And
I really like being a not Jedi in a Star Wars MMO. I played Galaxies and a little bit of Old Republic, and I was a smuggler both times, or just like I don't know if there's smugglers in Old Republic. I don't remember. I think it was bounty hunter. But we have two reserveds, meaning somebody reserved a spot and then didn't edit it later or it didn't take. Keep in mind, we always, I go chronologically down the list, so if you post something for Community Showcase and then change your mind later or want to edit it, you can. But Brogan Troll reserved a spot. And reserved is all Brogan Troll has to say this month. So apologies.
Secret World I played a bit of a beta or something as well.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. I was always tempted to check that one out because I love me some spooky stuff. Beaten Down Brian. Maybe I misunderstood when you talked about the showcase in the past, but was the idea not that people's submissions would have been created specifically for the showcase? Outside of comments, people's art be related to EZA in some way? Or can people just post anything they've made themselves in the past? If the answer to either of the two questions is yes, then I feel that it should be stated a bit more clearly in the guidelines, and I will when I post the next content thing. Thank you, Beaten Down Brian. But yeah, I thought there was going to be more to that. But yeah, It just depends. It's like if that's your first post and you're just kind of showing us something that you've worked on that we can obviously tell that like you've created a piece of art or photograph or something, then that's definitely something that we want to share. But like month to month, if kind of trends start to get repetitive or it's clear somebody's trying to like use the showcase to advertise stuff, then we might hold back on that a little bit. But we will find out month to month. I am very pleased with all the offerings that we've gotten this month. So far so good. Captain Fancy Pants. Mm-hmm. This is the first time I've ever submitted to anything to the community comments, but I feel like this is an important message to share with the rest of the world. Super Mario Odyssey. 10 out of 10.
Nice. And
Easy allies. 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
That's 3, right? Last get
4.
That's 4. Oh, so wait. Okay, I know 3.
Uncharted.
So Uncharted, Last Guardian, this, and
Persona.
Yeah. I want one. I want a 5-er.
Oh, you haven't done a 5 yet.
I haven't done a 5 yet.
I was thinking about that. I was like, okay, Damiani's first 5. Who's left?
Yeah.
But
I'm
I mean,
nervous.
it's a tough thing to do that, especially like, after basically 10 years of game trailers never crossing that line.
I'm nervous about Red Dead because I'm nervous I'm not going to like the protagonist.
Sure.
Because he's not a nice guy, and like I hope they do that well, and I hope there's a reason for you being someone who is nowhere close to redemption. I don't know, like it's like where's the redemption part come in? Because with Marston, the first one, it was like okay, obviously he's got a lot to repent for and a lot of catching up to do. But this guy's just ruthless, so I'm nervous. Hoping Red Dead will be my first 5, my first perfect score.
The first trailer I was more impressed with than the second one, so that's why the second one got me like I don't know, like I feel like Red Dead should look better than this.
Whew. But we'll see. Crazy Bird. This is an official letter, so I gotta be official. Dear Overwatch, I'm afraid I must put an end to our relationship. I will look fondly at our time together, our long nights trying to climb the ranks, celebrating holidays in style with cool skins, and our 1-year anniversary. You're beautiful, inside and out. Please don't mistake my departure as an ungrateful gesture. However, we are no longer growing together. Instead, we grow apart. A year ago, you introduced me to players that wanted to improve with me, but now I mostly encounter players that demand I mold to their capricious whims. Tragically, what charmed me about you last year has disappeared with your success. You're growing in one direction, and I stay stagnant, clinging to sporadic sparks of excitement that rarely manifest. Enough is enough. This departure may be selfish on my part, but if we no longer grow together, we can't expect to live in happiness. Therefore, I leave you and embark on a journey where I, too, can grow. A journey that will allow me to become one with those around me, become one with the world around me. My journey starts in New Donk City. Love, Crazy Bird. I guess I only played a little bit, but I haven't gotten to New Donk City yet.
I haven't either.
But I guess emotionally the journey begins. All that's just a trial beforehand, but stuff gets real. Sorry, Crazy Bird, but good luck in your new journey. Corn Fan 2007. What do you? So you like so far? Odyssey's good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We got another code, which is why I downloaded it. And actually, the download onto my Switch took the exact amount of time that it took me to record the voiceover. So I was like, I'm like, don't I have that code in my email? And I was like, let me download it. And I'm downloading it, and then I'm like, I can see through the window. I'm like watching it download, and then it was kind of fun actually.
That's hilarious. You look peeking out of the booth.
I don't know if I've done that before, where I've read a review for a VO for review, and then immediately played the game for the first time. When I was like, all right, you've sold me, Michael Damiani. Let's play this video game. And so far so very very good. Corn Fan 2007 again. You can count on a comment. I recently joined a different community on Twitch thanks to one of the allies, Silent Consonant, recommending it. She's an art streamer, and it's been a lot of fun. This streamer and a lot of her community play Overwatch on PC, and I bought it during the free weekend. Played around 70 hours as I write this, and I still struggle with some of the characters. I've likened it to playing a shooter and a fighting game rolled into one. Interesting two Overwatch comments were back to back. I have likened it to a shooter and a fighting game rolled into one. I can get the hang of some characters, but some are so different that I just struggle to get them. Due to this newfound love, my PS4 currently gathers dust. My trophies do not move. At least I am happy. One thing that has come up is the use of 2007 in my name. Multiple people in Overwatch have asked if I'm 10 years old. I am contemplating a change, but I'm well known as Cornfan 2007 that I worry I would lose my identity here and elsewhere. I also can't think of a new name. Cornfan is taken in some places, hence I can't use that. Thanks for reading. Love and respect. Cornfan 2007. 2007 was a good year. It's a good year to celebrate, regardless of whether
you're just gonna have to ask Cornfan if he's 10 years old every time you see him.
Cornfan, you got to be careful though, because in this community and certainly amongst the allies, you never know what's going to become a meme. And like, I'm gonna be so tempted to go to that. Cornfan's 10 years old, so that's why it makes sense that Corn. I mean, how prolific has Corn been in the last 10 years? Have they released anything or done anything? So it's interesting. Was 2007 the end of Cornfan? Or the number in that related? I kind of like thinking of conspiracy theories about the 2007 as opposed to actually knowing what the 2007 is. It's also a bummer that he doesn't mention what other Twitch thing he's following.
Oh, he doesn't
But,
call him out by name. Maybe
no.
he's worried about.
She's an art streamer, and he puts art,
Yeah.
capital A, art. So, you know it's art, but it's capital A. Pokey Clyde, I plan on making something weird. I plan on making some weird, irrelevant, short, animated. I'm gonna rewrite this myself. I plan on making a weird, irrelevant, short, animated review for Super Mario Odyssey, but I can feel the procrastination creeping in. Well, if this is my comment for the stream, y'all know what happened. Here we go. So here's the comment. Well, and hey, better late than never. I would still love to watch that review. Well, at the time of me writing this, it's about 2 days away from the stream, and I haven't drawn a single frame of the animation, so let me just gush about Odyssey. It's incredible. I got to Bowser's Kingdom and wanted to go to another kingdom to goof off. Nope. You're on Bowser's tail. You can't dilly-dally while Bowser marries Peach. You gotta push forward until you beat Bowser, and that's great context. If you talk to the Sphinx outside of the chapel, it will nail that point home even further, and I love it. Last note, Honey Loon Ride, Escape, best track in the game. The most jolly I've ever been is hearing the song for the first time. Ugh. 10 out of 10. Ugh. Also, yeah, careful of spoilers. I mean, that was...
yeah, I don't know what that's about. Yeah.
I don't think that was spoilery, but when I first read that, I was like, uh-oh.
The you have to go ahead is definitely not been the way I've been playing that game.
Yeah. I'm curious about...
I think I spent as much time in the desert world as it took Damiani to do that whole like speed run that he did through the entire game.
The moment I found out in the first area that you like throw a hat on a lantern and it lights it, I was like, well...
There we go. That's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm doing for the next half an hour. Especially that I played it the evening of Halloween, I think. Or the Halloween before. I can't remember specifically when I read that. But I was hungry for spooky stuff, and it starts on the spooky level. I couldn't be happier. Alexander Ziranov, who thankfully brought up... initially, we had the 200-word limit, and we got a comment from Alexander on Cuppa Jones. He was like, what? And I'm like, okay, I'll change it. Which I'm glad I'm doing Cuppa Jones weekly now, so we can address stuff like that quicker. Alexander Ziranov says, I've marked 4 games in October, but I've played none of them. Why? Because right before October, I decided to try Danganronpa. And then I couldn't do anything besides playing the whole series. At first, Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc was just another good game. It had an intriguing plot and several likable characters, but nothing that gets me immediately attached. Yet with each chapter, I've become more and more sucked into its world and more determined to solve all of its mysteries, and by the end, it was far beyond my initial expectations. Then, I played Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. This game knows that it's a sequel to a game you most likely played and uses it to catch you off guard. Sometimes Danganronpa 2 is quite similar to Danganronpa 1. Sometimes it flips everything 180 degrees, so you'll never know what's coming next. Also, the ending of this game is just something special. Gotta worth pointing out that Ben Wall, I know you might be watching this on YouTube, we got a strong Ben Wall. You got multiple Bens to use too, but I like that you picked the right Ben. Also, the ending of this game is just something special. Never before have I encountered something that makes everything so sci-fi and so grounded in reality at the same time. Danganronpa, another episode Ultra Despair Girls, what a title, left me with mixed feelings. While Danganronpa 1 and 2 are visual novels, this one is a third-person action game. Yet its storytelling is still a visual novel with long, slow cutscenes, and it simply doesn't work with fast, action-oriented gameplay. On the other hand, this game has the best protagonist development in the series, so, still worth your time. I can't say anything certain about Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony yet because that came out this year, right?
Yeah, that just came. That's the one that Ben's review is going to go up any day. Maybe today.
Because we're getting close to GOTYs, so I like to go back and look at the list and be like, all right, what was January? I totally forget. On the other hand, this game is the best protagonist development. I can't say anything certain about Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony yet because I'm still playing it, but from what I saw so far, it is not just the best. It is the most improved game in the series. Definitely a GOTY contender.
Whoa.
So if you were ever interested in Danganronpa, play it. You will not be disappointed. Do you ever feel like nervous about a franchise that like I think I would be into that, but I don't have time, you know? And like,
I have that code,
and I kind of exist in a place where like I haven't sampled any of it at all, and so like I've kind of saved myself from it, you know? Like, I mean, speaking of Ben Wall, like we're getting subs. Thank you so much. We're so focused on this, but thank you for subbing and resubbing, everybody. Yeah, like just some JRPGs that Ben will talk about. I'm like, ooh, oh, like
the RPGs are the like
Divinity Original Sin 2. Like, oh no,
Ben's been playing Divinity for like 2-3 months.
Oh no,
and I'm like, yeah, that sounds great.
Tenarial 20 months.
I don't know how I'm gonna squeeze it in there. And then Xenoblade is a month away.
But Danganronpa sounds fascinating. I did see all the Saw films in the month of October.
Okay.
They were all very bad, but I enjoyed them. But it's the kind of, but I get it because like with the Saw films, I'm like, wow, this story's bad, this writing's bad, these characters are bad. I can't stop watching this, like, and it wasn't for necessarily the actual sequences themselves. In fact, a couple of them I fast forwarded through because it's like I know what's going to happen. I don't need to see that go through somebody's forehead. But I had to know what the plot. Like every time it hit credits, I was like, I gotta know where this is going. And it wrapped it up pretty well. So I imagine like as bad as that was, if you have good writing and good characters in something like this, plus those like cliffhangers, I could see how you're like, I can't, I have incredible games. I'm curious what those 4 marked games are, Zeranov. I would love to know that you didn't end up playing because you were playing Danganronpa. DRD, 7 of 14. I'll think of something good to say tonight, I promise. Love it. MC Griffin, hey friends and allies, and apologies again. I know we comments are known to get lost on Patreon, so apologies to all the people who be like, wait, that's not what I wrote. Like, there's not a lot we can do with technical issues via Patreon, which is where we get all these comments. So if you couldn't get through, try again, and thank you for the support. MC Griffin, hey friends and allies, it's probably kind of redundant to leave this message here since I'm planning on getting an ad slot on Frame Trap for this project when it drops, but damn it, I'm too excited. I've just submitted the first 3 episodes of my new podcast to iTunes. It's called Elsewhere Presents Sonic the Podcast. Just for fans, and it might be the weirdest thing I've ever made, but maybe also the funniest. I can't wait to tell and show you all more on once iTunes approves the feed. I've been a fan since GT was reviewing PS2 games, and I'm so excited to bump up my pledge and support your goals further, while also hopefully finding the crossover audience with my fellow allies for this incredibly weird show I'm putting out. Love and respect, MC Griffin. I love it. So again, if people are like, showing us something that they're doing, but are saying that it's silly and kind of have that attitude about it, then it definitely feels like something we want to support, from our community. Not Jack. Reserved. We'll leave it at that. I noticed something that might seem unrelated, but he mentioned us reviewing games going back to the PS2 era. I found something out, Blood, that I don't know if you had mentioned in Slack, but I did not know or did not realize that somebody had brought it up previously. But on Wikipedia, on the GOTY page, we're lumped in with game trailers. So under Easy Allies, it says Easy Allies, and then parentheses, formerly game trailers. So it goes back through all of the game trailers, Game of the Years as well.
Oh, weird.
So, but I mean, if you think about it, if game trailers had continued and we had done Game of the Year in 2016, it would have been that crew, So it's like, it is a spiritual, like the other people didn't work there at the time, so it wasn't like we let people go. Interesting. I was like, oh, hey, it feels good because it just makes the list bigger. It's like, and we were. I mean, I was involved in the deliberation for many of us that are still around at EZA to picking those. But so, thank you, Wikipedia, whoever made that happen. Bob Lineman, I am an instrumental music teacher in Nebraska. Bob Lineman, a name I do not remember from any community comments. So thank you, Bob, for jumping in. Instrumental music teacher in Nebraska. You've piqued Blood's interest. I never catch EZA streams, but watch you on YouTube to relax. On October 10th, I had a terrible rehearsal with my 6th to 8th grade band due to my miscalculation of playing ability and poor communication. I felt terrible and worried about the effect it would have on my students over the next week. I spent the next school week in one-on-one lessons with my students and made amends through music that they could handle and a personal apology from the previous rehearsal. Though it was rough, I felt that we ended up stronger due to the experience. Amidst this, I saw Fallout and Recovery from the Senra Kagura Peach Beach Splash group stream. I couldn't help but think that it felt a bit similar to what happened with me and my students. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I appreciate how you all handle the situation and everything you all do for this community. It's not our mistakes that define us and what we do. It's how we recover from them. Keep up the great work. Love and respect. PT_nerd_FT_THCR. A.K.A. Bob Lineman on Patreon. And he specifically mentioned Bob Lineman as his name on Patreon, but I'm guessing that is him on Twitch. And yeah, I mean, to avoid getting into that issue specifically, because there's a billion different things we can talk about, I felt bad because, I felt a little guilty because, for many reasons, but one, because I was, in a tiny way, happy that was happening because of how much we were learning from it. And so when stuff like that happens, there is the part of me that's like, okay, buckle up and get ready for, to learn a lot in 2 or 3 days, to be taught a lot by the community, to be taught a lot by just going back. I mean, I cut the podcast, and there are times where I'll hear myself in the podcast and be like, I didn't say that right. I could have been less excited or more excited or more honest. And so, even if I'll end on this. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to the issue, but like, even if we address an issue, even if something goes wrong with Easy Allies and we address something later, comment on that. And if we address your comment on that, comment on that. Like I don't want the conversation to stop. You know, It's like, understand over a time we can only answer the same question so many ways. But I had some people, critique an apology I made to an apology. And I was like, I'm more than happy to continue this conversation and analyze everything that we say. Because we do a lot live, and it can be nervous, like, saying the right thing, putting your best foot forward.
It's so easy to say the wrong, dumb thing live.
If you're Michael Huber. Fluffhead 108.
I mean, I'm just empathizing with how hard it's got to be to try to teach music and, like...
Yeah.
Have a whole class on the same page. And
6th to 8th graders, no less.
That's more nerve-wracking than sitting here reading your comments.
I'm curious how big the class is. But also, I mean, music and the arts and theater and all are getting huge cuts, here in America, and with a lot of budgets, and so I sometimes wonder. I had a tremendous arts education. I did a lot of theater and a lot of music and stuff when I was in high school, and it definitely shaped who I was and who I am now, and what I did directly after college. And so I get sad sometimes when I think about people not having that access and not getting those getting chances to do that stuff, because music rules. I mean, you love music. You work with music outside of Easy Allies. You do, you help put on shows and stuff, and you had soundtrack back at GT. Like, what was your musical upbringing? Like, what got you into that?
I mean, I had some, like, I had a little bit of classes in school. Like, we had, we did the stuff on recorders, the Star Wars on recorders, and like
yes.
that's just like,
oh, that's a bet. That's a bet
80s.
right there. Oh, that is a bet.
But and then like there's like in middle school there's like an orchestra class where we kind of they just like put us through like a bunch of different instruments to try out. So it's like, 1 week you're doing a cello, another week you're doing a trumpet, like another week you're doing like clarinet, and just get exposing you to that kind of stuff. But never really learned music in any in-depth way. But I got into music. I got into radio. Radio, I guess, was probably the biggest thing.
Oh, neat.
I spent a few years, 2 or 3 years in radio.
Good to know, because you definitely, that's definitely a passion of yours. Fluffhead 108. I just bought a house.
Nice.
By the time this gets shared, I will be living in that house. I will be watching this stream from that house.
Beautiful.
I hope you are, Fluffhead. I hope everything worked out okay. Getting a house is terrifying. I got a house before I got married. With the man and I moved into this house before we married each other. And so by the time our wedding happened, we were like, it's no big deal. It's not like the absolute fear of getting a house. Not only getting a house, but there was another house. I think about this a lot because just that kind of butterfly effect, woulda, coulda, shoulda, going back and having guilt and stuff. There was another house we liked and wanted and bid and didn't get. And I think a lot, Geezy Allies would not exist. There was a detached garage, but it was a much smaller house, smaller backyard. But I don't know. You could not fit Easy Allies into that detached garage for sure. Congrats, Fluffhead. I hope everything worked out. Outcast Rider. Getting back to the salty subject.
Ooh.
EA shutting down Visceral Games is just another bump on the road of getting Star Wars games published. Jedi Knight 3, Imperial Commando, Dark Squadron, Battlefront 3, Battle of the Sith Lords, 1313, First Assault, and the one that hurts the most, Knights of the Old Republic 3.
Wait, is that actually in development?
Knights of the Old Republic 3? Is that what you were asking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going to ask that question, actually. Yeah, did they say they were going to do it, or did Old Republic, was that originally KOTOR 3? And then, I don't know. Have all been casualties of the tumultuous process of making a Star Wars game become reality. I understand that making any game is a long process where a lot of things need to go right, but for whatever reason, this process seems all the harder for anyone endeavoring to create a Star Wars game. Keep in mind, we have gotten a lot of Star Wars games. I think, at the time I did the Star Wars Retro, there were over 100.
Right, but since then...
Yeah, but name one other franchise that's got 100 games, It's like, I do think there are lots of Star Wars expectations. I'm not calling Outcast Rider out here, I'm calling myself out. Just to always keep that in mind of, because on the podcast, I got, really salty, it was like,
yeah.
How hard is it to make a Star Wars game? And it's like, there are 8 Star Wars games on mobile, there are, it's like, we got an Episode 7 Lego game, there's a lot of Star Wars games. It's frustrating to be so emotionally into one, but I always want to remember that it is a fairly prolific franchise within video games. Perhaps this is due to the scope, and because we're so upset about so many games getting canceled, I think it's because it's such a huge franchise and there's so many attempts, where you don't think that so much with Batman or other things. Perhaps it was because of bickering and disagreement within the production monolith that Star Wars has become. Regardless, while I may have not been super invested in Amy Hennig's Star Wars game, as a passionate Star Wars fan myself, it is my earnest hope, a new hope, that this game is, I added that, that this game is able to make it to publication and become a great game. I don't want EA to do to others what LucasArts did to me with the cancellation of KOTOR 3. So that's, Outcast Raiders taking that stance. Huh. Make it right, EA. Make it right. Yeah. Lots of emotions. I'm just trying to quell my own emotions. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't mean to be critiquing comments. I just get worked up. Hey, Soph. Sophie's taking a nap. She's like, Daddy reads comments, knocks her right out. Rudy M. Hi everyone. So far I've seen some pretty cool stuff, and I'm so impressed on everyone's talent. Oh, and you can get a sneak peek of the Easy Allies Community Showcase by going to the Community Showcase post on Patreon, because a lot of people have put that stuff up, so you can check that stuff up beforehand. So if you don't get a chance to watch the video, or you want to get a sneak preview. Oh, you all right? Yeah?
She's yawning.
Just a little yawn, Soph? You have something to say? You got a comment? $10, Soph. $10 on Patreon. Rudy M. Hey, everyone. So far, I've seen some pretty cool stuff, and I'm so impressed on everyone's talent. I can't wait to see how many imaginative things are yet to come. On the other hand, I wish I could say that I was talented enough to draw, sing, whatever, but I cannot. But I do like to write for my own pleasure, so here are a couple haiku that I wrote for you all. Maybe in the future, Sophie will get one. Ha! I can't express how much I enjoy what you are all doing. Sincerely, Rudy M. NW Burbs of Illinois. NW Burbs of IL. So IL's Illinois, right? And Northwest Burbs, maybe? Do you know?
Oh.
NW Burbs of IL.
Suburbs, yeah.
The Northwest suburbs of Illinois. I got
the suburbs of Chicago, maybe, I would guess.
Oh, okay.
Probably what they mean.
I got, my uncle teaches at the University of Illinois, so I got family up there. The first one. Ben. Blood, Brad, Don, Hink, Damiani, and Huber. Jones, Kyle, the best round. Number 2, the Easy A team. So much content, not enough time. Thank you very much. Love it.
You know what's funny is I understand that from their perspective, but it also works from our perspective.
Yeah.
So much content.
Not enough time. Bo Rider 89 wants Kyle to say, Brandon, you are adorable. I will save that, or maybe you can add that later when Kyle goes up. And maybe we can, that's something that we didn't do in the content submission, but we should mention who's going to be here, so you can prepare that stuff. But I will... and
then inevitably...
Don't stop believing, Bo Rider.
At the last minute.
I mean, you could tell me I'm adorable, Bloodworth. I mean, just to fill that in.
I think he really wants Kyle, though.
All right. Whew. Some things you just can't get Blood to do. Tim Strothman. Since Patreon swallowed my September submission, which I only found when I watched the corresponding stream, I'm going to recap it, because it might spark a discussion. In September, I finally finished Dragon Age Inquisition, a game that haunts me, because I played Dragon Age 1 and 2 multiple times and never played Inquisition. However, I do not want to discuss its qualities. Let's just say that it is a very good game with a lot of great ideas and a big step forward from Dragon Age 2. Instead, I want to focus on something that greatly diminished my enjoyment of the game. The mere fact that I played Witcher 3 at the beginning of the year. I compared the two games a lot while playing. First, I know that the games are very different. Witcher is action combat focused, while Dragon Age Inquisition relies on tactical combat on managing a party. But that is besides my point. In my original comment, I elaborated on the following two examples. 1, the narrative quality and presentation of side quests, and 2, the variety of details for repetitive tasks. Example, Witcher contracts versus closing rifts. My point is, I think I would have loved Dragon Age Inquisition if I had played it before The Witcher 3. Now I feel that I will mostly remember the parts that could have been better in comparison, and I feel kind of bad about it. We had
we had that same thing.
Cup of Jones or a Q&A or
Horizon and Zelda. A lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's weird. I think because I think in some ways that kind of goes both ways. I think, like, whether you play Horizon first and then you play Zelda.
Oh, sure.
Or if you play Zelda first and then you play Horizon, there's just, like, stuff in each game. It's like, I wish I just had that.
Well, screw Horizon. Zelda and every game I played after, any wall I got up to, I instantly was like, and climb. Oh, that's right, I can't. You know, like, I just want to, I just get over that thing. You know, Destiny 2, just like, I just get over that mountain. And like, oh, wait, I can't. And I think, that's one of the things that's probably even Mario. You know, there's some walls that you're like, I wish I could climb up that. But yeah, the big one for me, because I went from Horizon to Zelda, was the bow. Was going from a left trigger to pull, right trigger to fire, versus Zelda, which everything is the right trigger. And I was like, oh, and then totally got used to that and enjoyed it because you have all the other tools, available. You can't. But yeah, they're definitely similar, and that's something interesting. I mean, I'm curious to take where we should kind of start the discussion there, because is that something you worry about as a reviewer? That I'm going to be reviewing these two games back to back.
I don't. Well, I guess I'm
not trying to discredit you.
A little bit. I know I've been lagging on my Gran Turismo review, but there's definitely some of that where it's like, oh yeah, that's really weird to get jumped straight into Gran Turismo right after Forza.
Right.
Even though design wise, structurally they're pretty super different.
Right.
I think it's probably, actually in a way, it's probably more of a worry if, was it Huber? I forget who it was. But if there's those two games come out so close enough that you don't get to play one of them before you have to review the other. And then
right.
Your whole perception of well, what should I, oh yeah, it was Assassin's Creed versus Shadow of War.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's he's kind of wanting to feel out okay, well, based on what Jones saw to Shadow of War, and what I think of it, and then how do I think that Assassin's Creed compares to that? But I think it doesn't have that big of an impact so much. It's just, except maybe where you end up landing if you're on the fence with a score, if you're going back and forth.
Sure. Well, with you in racing games, I bet features. You see one game that has so many features, kind of we were talking about Forza with relating that game to previous games in the franchise.
Yeah.
To go from one fully featured racing game to another game that maybe the racing is better, but not enough features. My issue is that whenever I play a Rockstar game, pretty much every game seems kind of poor for years after. So there's that problem. What do you notion on something?
She had the bone earlier.
Oh, she's got, okay. It's a little plastic. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Not good, Self.
She's a magician. She'll just be and I'm like, hey, reach in her mouth to get something, and gone. Jason A. Sackle, who you can always count on, opening up a wound. Actually, not really a wound. I was expecting this. The curtains have fallen upon Lego Dimensions. An act earlier than planned. There are many things that could be looked at for the poor sales that inevitably led to the series' demise. It's easy to say that they should have done without the industry knowledge and understanding of decisions that were made. It's also fun, so here we go. Less Lego franchises. Mixing franchises was an awesome idea. Back to the Future and Ghostbusters, sold, done deal. Seeing characters from different franchises interact was a blast. A lot of this was due to familiarity. Couldn't give two craps about franchises like Ninjago. Locked content. You know what makes people want to boot up a game? Seeing locked worlds because they didn't buy a pack or franchise they don't care for. Super fun. I'd rather it just not show up. Also, say I buy the Back to the Future level pack. With that purchase, I get the levels associated with their franchise. Don't tell me I need to buy Aquaman to do something in that level. Not cool. Hire a Hero came too late. Hire a Hero was you could earn a currency in the game that you could spend on playing as somebody you didn't own for a certain amount of time. Okay. Year 2. Starting with a movie that flopped in exchange for a story that mixed characters from different franchises probably helped people forget about the game more than it got people excited. I'm not sure what the movie that flopped reference is. Seeing the characters from different franchises interact was the main sell. Why take that away? And he goes on another page. I felt that in the end, it just wasn't planned well. For workload, an outdated engine on current and last-gen consoles was a dumb idea when it comes to maintaining. As for sales, take time to see what it sold. That would have helped focus franchises for year 2. We know that they didn't because you could walk into any store and see a clear theme of what is abundantly on shelves. Good opportunity to interesting points made, and good opportunity to talk about Lego Dimensions not being around anymore. I wonder if I'm split on whether you just stop releasing so much stuff. Stop being oh yeah, people are gonna buy all of this crazy stuff. Seeing that Skylanders is slowing down, Infinity canceled. And I wonder if the strategy and the successful strategy for Activision and Disney and everybody that got involved in Toys to Life is to just make as much as you possibly can to get it out while people are buying stuff. There was an oversaturation with Rock Band and stuff like that, but was it smart for them to try to give as many people as many purchasing options as they could while it was still relevant? It's something like Toys to Life and Skylanders. Anything physically based with a peripheral in games, is that just doomed, period? That's you got 3, maybe 4 years, and then people are just over it,
I think there's an element of that, but I also think that, I think part of it is that having it constantly present, and then not having anything, like just having like another wave, another lineup of franchises, I don't think is necessarily, like, if they had done a Lego Dimensions 2 and it incorporated your old stuff as well as, you know, brought in new levels and then brought in new figures and stuff, and maybe those figures would still be compatible with the first game. But I just feel like there just wasn't like a big enough splash for people to just like have that in mind. It's like, oh, this is why I'm going to keep investing in this. You know, it's just these things kept coming out. I kept hearing about stuff from you, and it's like, what? Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know. You know, and I think there's a lot of that where people just it's not having enough of a marketing impact for people to even be aware of what they were doing.
Because I got sour when Infinity shut down, but like I think back on that and I wonder, like, was I just super naive in thinking that anyone could do this, that anyone can maintain a Toys to Life for any franchise for any length of time? You know, that like sooner or later people are just kind of like, I'm good. You know, I bought a lot of these things, I'm fine. You know, like every wave, are you going to get diminishing turns regardless of someone's interest? Like, this person loves the franchise. They just can't give you the, you know, $2,000 you want them to,
right?
You know, to like pick up absolutely
the expense
everything.
Is definitely a thing. It's at some point how much money you're going to keep putting into the same game, especially if it's primarily for your kids. Yeah, and you're only going to get a limited amount of that enjoyment.
But I gotta say, I think Infinity is still my favorite of all of those games, but I think for each of the purchases that you make with Dimensions has the best value. I think, not just talking about the game itself, but like once you buy the game and then you're like, yeah, I'll get that Back to the Future thing. You get a lot of cool stuff from just that Back to the Future thing. To me, having a world just for that character to explore is pretty great. Like having an open world area. And it's smart too because you look at something like Powerpuff Girls and like there's no way we were ever getting a Lego Powerpuff Girls game. Like I don't think that would sell as much as they wanted. But then the fact that we got like Knight Rider and all, like I got to see Lego versions of a lot of things I would have never gotten to see without this format. And so I just want...
And that's a weird thing too. Like there were a lot of franchises that seem to be targeting like parents more than kids. Yeah. And I don't know if that was necessarily the right way to go about it either. Like it might have made more sense to like go deeper into like what the kids like right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And put out multiple sets in the same franchise than to put out something like Gremlins and like, how many kids care about Gremlins right now?
It's on Netflix. You can check it out. That's a Christmas movie. Caesar Villa. This is the first showcase, and I'm already feeling a change in the way to approach it. I used to write comments with the mindset that they would be read out loud, and while that part is still true, the feeling has shifted to be a conversation starter. Think of that statement more like a disclaimer than anything else. Not sure how this will turn out. Just like last year, my spooky plans of playing Resident Evil 0 had to be postponed because I've been playing Skyward Sword for the past 3 months, and finally, last Saturday, I got the end credits. I hope someone who likes the game is there with you, Jones, because I have nothing but praise for this one.
Yeah?
You like Skyward Sword?
Yeah.
What were you giggling at? Why did you giggle?
Oh, because yeah. I hope somebody who likes it.
Yeah. You lucked out. You were imagining the worst case scenario, Kyle Bossman. I hope someone who likes the game is there with you, Jones, because I have nothing but praise for this one, except that final boss man. There it is. He really pisses me off. On a different note, I was playing the game with the wife, taking turns. Until at the beginning of October, she broke her right arm. She's okay, but she couldn't play solo anymore. We managed to do some jolly cooperation with the Wiimote and Nunchuck. Just giving you the heads up, maybe it's something worth exploring for a stream. Fun. Oh boy, there's a settle it. Did we ever settle it with Damiani and Bossman for Skyward Sword?
Not for Skyward Sword.
Does somebody love Skyward Sword more than Damiani?
Wait, I think you're getting mixed up.
So Damiani doesn't like Skyward Sword and Kyle does?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Skyward Sword is Kyle's favorite, that's right. Kyle doesn't like Link to the Past. Okay, alright. I'm getting my Zeldas straight. And Damiani doesn't like Skyward Sword.
Right, yeah. Damiani is not a big fan of motion control, like, overall. Okay. So... I mean, even with regular controllers, he has a lot of complaints about controls.
And I view it also as a love-hate relationship thing, where like the reason he's so frustrated with the motion controls of Skyward Sword is because he really, really wants to like the game. I think he always wants a Zelda game to be good. Chum Nguyen. After seeing the Evil Within 2 full playthrough, I think the first one was way better, especially DLCs. I haven't finished it yet, but that's kind of my sentiment too. I like the one a little bit better, but 2 is a lot of fun. That open worldness somehow made it partly boring, and the ending was pretty predictable. Sure, it improves in many areas. That was really rough in the first one, but my feeling was like Huber was in the end, tired. October is a month when I at least play one Resident Evil game. This time it was Remake, and I got 2 trophies that are a bit annoying to get. One involving a lighter and the other involving clothes. Not as bad as one with a knife, but I am now 2 trophies away from Platinum that are luckily easy to get. Yay, love and respect. Tirju Engi, or Tirju Engi, on Twitch. Chum Nguyen on Patreon. That's respectable to play a Resident Evil game. Yeah, I try. I actually was. Sometimes I'm disappointed in my output in October, but I was pretty happy. I played a lot of horror games. I watched a lot of horror movies. But
I got to play Fatal Frame 2 for the first time.
Yeah, that was a great pick. Did you? So how did that work out? Did you? That was for Blood Pact, by the way, which is a goal on Patreon.com/easyallies. Did you say specifically? I would love to play scary games. So let's just in the scary genre.
What I did, yeah. So like there's like essentially 4 posts for Blood Pact every month. And so the first one is like a category, and so like I have this group of like categories that's every month.
Ah, okay.
But then for October, I also had like a spooky games category and like a not so spooky games category. So like stuff like Costume Quest.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
and
cool.
Stuff like that. And then so they went with spooky games like straight up, and then and then I picked like 5 or 6 games.
Nice.
And Fatal Frame 2 was the one that they went with.
Are like commonly considered the best in the series. I remember that game. I remember when we did.
I've heard people say that Fatal Frame 2 is being.
I remember
the best.
back when we had our Patrick Morales and Ryan Stevens, and Justin Spear, and all those lads, and we did the top 10 scariest games or top 10. I think we revisited that later, and like that was just a game that would always come up. But
it's a good game.
Yeah, I would love a Fatal Frame on the Switch. That's not bad.
That
could
would happen.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo's essentially been publishing those games.
Like the monitor itself doesn't have the motion controls, but the Joy-Cons do. So as long as they're in, you could maybe do the Wii U trick of like having to actually like move it in real time.
I don't know that I would want that, but yeah.
Maybe like a mode. Maybe like it's not how you play the campaign, but there is a mode where it's just you standing still. You
could even do that without the screen in front of you. Like, you could just use the Pro Controller or the Joy-Cons to like move the camera.
Sure. But I loved the connectivity of Link having the Switch. Like whenever he brought it out and like I was like, oh, that's neat. Like I'd love if you were making a game exclusively for Switch, it'd be cool if you had a person that had like something that kind of looked like it. Within context, of course. Joseph Caruso, I wish I had a better term for this, but I want to talk about fanboyism in 2017.
Oh.
I feel like the average person is less inclined than ever to blindly support or blindly hate a video game platform, series, or company. I hope no one ever blindly hates a video game platform, series, or company. I'm not sure if it's because I'm surrounding myself with different people or because I'm looking at different platforms for discussion, but maybe we've truly grown up, literally and figuratively, and don't care so much about the console wars and such. That I would agree with that. That's for sure. I think that is kind of toned down. Maybe we just want what's best for everyone and don't put so much personal and emotional stock in what we decide to buy with our money. But then I see the comments on any given Digital Foundry YouTube video, and it's nothing but vitriol toward any given platform and its owners. Even in the EZA community, I still occasionally see some juvenile comments that paint patrons and their owners with a big brush, foregoing any nuance. I hope it's just a vocal minority, and I'm not oblivious to its prevalence. Yeah, it's tough to gauge prevalence in the gaming industry.
Sure.
Because I spent a lot of time on Twitter, but Twitter's just Twitter. By the way, that was for the final comment. We're now getting into drawings and art and photographs and video. But yeah, so it's hard if I'm not in there reading. I mean, I don't read a lot of YouTube comments on stuff that we do, if I'm not directly involved in the project. And so I know some allies have come back and expressed concern over particular people in the various communities that we have, be it on Twitch or Patreon
sure.
or elsewhere. But yeah, do you think it's something that's going away? Are people getting nicer?
I don't know if it's going away, but I would say that's definitely not been the focus as much as it was in years past. I still see it. I still see people that are, like, why do you have a Nintendo podcast if you don't have a Sony
that's a big
and an
one.
Xbox podcast
Yeah.
and stuff like that, or thinking that we just don't like Xbox just because we're just just a selection of games right now. It's just not been we've really been into.
We don't get the chance to review everything, and so deciding like, oh, we reviewed that and didn't review that. Maybe we have prevalence towards one console over another. But I do like that. I remember even without the internet, I remember like getting in nasty, I don't want to call them fights, but like getting in nasty like spitting matches with people over Super Nintendo versus Genesis. Like that was
that stuff was
because it was all about like exclusivity, and it seems like exclusivity is kind of measured in like in like the bulk now. You kind of look at like everything and how diverse that thing is. Whereas like there were games. It was like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. It was Mario's. But I mean, Mario, Sonic. It was Phantasy Star, Final Fantasy. Like
the Nintendo Power propaganda machine took pretty strong hold on me. Like. Yeah.
So
I was
thankfully
going
those days are
whatever
over.
way Nintendo was pitching me.
Yeah. But it is stuff like the Overwatch community being really toxic. Like I only experienced that from the outside. I've never experienced that myself. I was probably legitimately a bad Overwatch player when I played. So maybe if I'd gotten any scoring, it might have been deserved. So it's time to move on to drawings and art. So we're gonna kick it off with stuff that people have. Images that people... Wait a minute. So, yeah. Yeah, okay. Images that people... Actually, I'm going to lump all these together. So these are drawings and art and photographs. We're kicking it off with... from Bry Guy. Been playing a lot of Persona 5 in October. Got me in the mood to draw, starting an Instagram account for my drawings. So this is a brand new Instagram account that you can check out from Bry Guy. Here's a link to my drawing of Joker from P5. So if you want to check out the channel, you can do that. Patreon.com/EasyAllies. You can go down to the post for Community Showcase for October and find the links to all of these if you would like to follow these accounts or get that image for yourself. Here's a link to my drawing of Joker from P5. P5 spoiler mode is an added motivation to finish, now too, so I can see the Allies' opinion on the ending. And I think that's fascinating. The idea that like we do a spoiler mode, you're like, wow, I gotta watch that now. But yeah, I not only love that piece, but I love that it's not scanned. I love like actually seeing like the texture of the red.
It's
the background
it's just great to me that the whole page, in that notebook, and that's not a sketchbook either. That's just a lined notebook.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And S001 says, that's a lot of marker. Marker's hard to do right, props. So thank you for that submission. Love it. I love this. And this came up on Twitter, but Ian wanted to post it. Love hearing Brandon Jones's talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on Easy Anime. So I drew this to encourage him to keep on going with the series, which is, I do that myself. I lament not finishing up on this stuff. I need to go buy those Blu-rays. I've already shared this with him on Twitter, but I figured I would submit it here as well. We just got to get someone to give him the DVD. The name I came up with was Brando Jonestar and his stand, Three Dog Night. And so, Sophie, you got to see? Look, you're on the TV. What do you think? No, you don't have to go. She's gonna check it out. She's gonna get a closer look. She's gonna get a closer look. I love the Easy A on the pants, and it's so good. So thank you for that. And this is speaking of anime characters coming out of Easy Allies. Hey guys, here's my submission. While I own the rights to the artwork, screenshot. Oh, sorry. I thought I would do this in honor of Huber finishing Persona 5. This is from Sarah Imshog. Hopefully the link will work. Love and respect from Zephyr Moon on Twitch. Sarah Imshog on Patreon.
Wow.
And because there's a lot of people doing this, so the Zephyr Moon is on Twitch, but we have a lot of times we have your names instead on Patreon. If you don't want me to say your names, let me know, or just be aware of what your name is on Patreon, so that we want to give people credit. And I don't want people to be calling out for something.
I definitely had never known Zephyr Moon's actual name before.
Are you going to commit that? Are you going to memorize it? It's a hobby of mine.
I would love to.
It's a hobby of mine to remember these things.
How successful I will be.
So, yes. Oh, yes, and there's... Oh, yeah, we'll do that at the end. Here, let me put a star next to that. Joe Ellis sent us something that I have seen before, and I think is cool, and everyone should check out. But we'll just stick to images real quick.
Okay.
Steven CT sent something that we just got via Twitter, but it's good Halloween themed. The Sophie Bat. Love the Sophie Bat. Not sure if I'm too late on this, but I figured I'd go ahead and share my Sophie drawing that I did for Halloween. Thank you, Steven CT. And again, Sophie, she's done. Look, you're up on the TV. See? You see you on the TV? She loves it.
She has no idea what we're looking at.
She did see it though. She did turn around and look at the TV. Yeah. No, don't lick the table. I didn't want you to lick the table. Good girl. Sit. Not gonna do it. Going back to her antler. All right, now we got some photographs. Jesse Abraham, this is a spaceship I just started working on. I will try and post my progress each month. Hopefully it will keep me motivated. Love that. Love the people writing narratives for Community Showcase, and love checking in with people that are modeling stuff or working on art. Especially because I deeply respect somebody having a project they're working on month to month. There's lots of things creatively I would love to do instead of Easy Allies. I mean, I procrastinate like crazy working on that stuff. And so having a reason, having something to put out there month to month, and hopefully using that as inspiration. I cannot wait to see the ship come together. It'd be fun too to like when it's all done, put all the images together.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
see that. So far so good. Here's definitely something that you can build that I stand behind. If you can't tell what it is right away, bud. Stephen Oz, I really don't know what to say or show for this community showcase. I'm a cosplayer and a hobby prop maker.
Whoa.
This is my first attempt at 3D printing Batman's Batarang. Each picture is a step-on-step on how I did it. Since this was 3D, I had to create 2 of them and glue them together. Oh, so I think there's more up. Maybe I did this wrong. Sorry. Here's the first step. So you can go to patreon.com/easyallies and you can go step by step. And see the actual process of putting that together. I had to create 2 of them and glue them together, then priming, painting, and weathering was the final step. Spent a total of 15 hours printing and building this. Maybe next showcase I could show a step-by-step cosplay build. Thanks for letting me show this. Love and respect, Steven MXA Ghost Oz. So if there's a way that I can actually put that up there and go through each image and show all of that, like the actual progression and building, then I will do it. But we'll do that next month, unless we get another update from you, Steven, on more of the step-by-step cosplay builds.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I think one of the things too that's that'll be a process is understanding the best way to like show this stuff via Instagram and people's websites and SoundClouds and stuff like that. And finally, before we get into video and some multimedia stuff, Tim Beshan has the jolliest of photographs, chilling in Vietnam on a boat.
Oh, yeah.
Tim Beshan, here's my love and respect from the Mekong River in Vietnam. Love and respect from Vietnam with the Easy Ally shirt. I love it. I love the hat. You're looking sharp. That's really great. It's crazy to think. I think that was one of the first really amazing things when we created game trailers back in the day was seeing that people in countries that did not speak the same language that we do were watching our content and trafficking our website. And so seeing somebody see the Easy Allies logo that lives in Vietnam is super awesome. Thank you, Tim Beshan. And obviously people traveling, but of course we have lots of fans around the world as well.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the Patreon app won't let me click on the link for the Batarang.
Patreon! All right, so we'll get to video. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos to show, along also with 6 videos to show. The last one from Ebo Show we will drop in right at the end of the stream because we do not have rights to the music, but thank you, Ebo Show, for sending that wonderful video. But before we do that, I want to show... did I actually... I think I might have goofed this. Wait, what? Okay, wait.
The web.
Yeah. Hold on. Hold on a second. Oh, no, did that... Okay, wait. Talk amongst yourself, bud.
Okay, talk amongst myself. What else? Oh, if you haven't seen it, after this, go to patreon.com/easyallies and you can watch part 3 of the Souls retrospective. And that will go live for everyone tomorrow morning. That was a long time coming. The longest... Jones, that's the longest retro ever, isn't it?
The longest episode? Oh, I don't know. What was that, 22?
I think it was just under 20.
Oh, okay.
Like,
the other ones were pretty close to that.
A couple seconds under 20.
There's got to be a retro episode went over 20. You nuts?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I don't remember ever seeing something go over 3,000
Challenge accepted.
words
I'll go
before,
find it.
But yeah.
I'll find it. The longest retro episode. Yeah, I never really clocked that when it happened.
I don't think we got up that high at GT.
Yeah, I got to point this out. So this was sent to us a while back, and this is from... Oops, sorry.
Oh, I think I do remember this.
Yeah. This is from Joe Ellis. Hey guys, here's my submission. While I own rights to the artwork, screenshots from video games and other games and/or otherwise are owned by their respective rights holders: Nintendo, Guerrilla Games, Capcom, Harmonix, Music Systems, Bandai Namco, Naughty Dog, Ubisoft, Supermassive Games, Dark Horse Comics, CD Projekt. This work is not intended for resale. Because of this, I feel free to show the work, but understand if you feel inappropriate to do so. Love and respect, Joe Ellis. And this is a template for the Easy Allies website. So these are logo treatments, and this was sent to us, and this is just just such an absolutely nutballs amount of work. There's logos for absolutely every single show that we do, including Dawn's Discount Gaming, which might be my favorite of those logos. Fiasconauts is really great, but I just love the Discount Gaming. And then, what each of the pages could look like. I mean, it's the whole thing. I mean, what it looks like on tablets and like laptop. New thumbs. You got we do the side thumbs there, but you got the top thumbs. What do you think of that? Did we try that back in the day? The 30%, 70% on the going vertically?
I don't think that we've tried that. I'm not sure, 100% sure that it would necessarily work on YouTube, because the problem is that they, especially now, on the embed previews, they put all the text on the top.
Right. Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't look that good in practice.
I love the clear retrospective request there from Uncharted, which might be time now. The series is wrapping up. Might be time to do it. And just crazy new possible business card. Ideas. What our reviews would look like in text, like on the page.
Yeah, I mean that was quick and dirty.
An Easy Allies app, which has got to be, I think, the least, that's pretty far down on our to-do list.
Sure.
You can always go to Patreon. You can load up our webpage, within a browser on there. But the return and love, we got some T-shirt designs.
Yeah.
Destined Just to Die. Lars had grain. Really, really incredible work. You can go check that out. Obviously, again, all of these are in the comments. Patreon.com/EasyAllies. The community showcase. Post for October 2017. You can go and peruse all of that work. We went away. We're back. Yay. I didn't put ourselves on that one, but
I'm glad that they submitted that, because that was a while back that they first showed that off to us.
Yeah.
And we're like, I don't know that we can do anything with this right now, but thank you very much. That was a huge amount of work. So I'm glad that people got to see it.
And let me leave me again. But yeah, it'll definitely be a process for if we ever want to do that. I mean, that stuff is inspiring. I mean, we might not be working, with people that submit stuff like that to us, but it definitely gets us thinking about, what stuff like that would look like. And I'm sure whether it be moving into a studio or 2 or 3 or 4 year anniversary or something, a time will come when we'll, have an interest in rebranding a little bit. But we have kept it kind of simple. So we're moving on to video. We have 6 videos to show. We have our headsets here, so when we actually go to the video, or I think I have us up picture-in-picture, but we'll just let the videos play out, and then we will discuss. If you have something you want to interject or jump in there,
okay.
If you want to laugh or cry, you can do that, but try to just keep a lid on it until we can do all these videos. All right, kicking it off with, and bear with me, it's the first time we've been doing this, so I think I got a good system for it, but we'll see. Christoph Fatui. Well, I make mostly videos and stream, but I do some tech videos too, but mostly unboxing. I would love to hear what people actually think about such videos and their feelings on it. I do this for fun and have done it a long time. We want video. This was a 13-minute video. We have a 3-minute cap on these, and so I actually made a little edit where I think about a minute in, I cut to the good stuff when he actually cracks it open. So I kept the intro in there because he's got a fun little intro. You can check out his channel. You can check out the full video on Patreon.com/EasyAllies. Make us a little smaller.
Hello and welcome to a new unboxing video on Fed, and as you can see right here from the top here, it is of course South Park: The Fractured Butthole Collector's Edition. So we have that right here, and I got it early, and it's not out yet. It's coming out Tuesday. Ubisoft looks like they sent out this here really early, so they know that people have it before everybody, or at least before the official date. This here is the PC version, as you can see right here. We got Raccoon Cartman here. We have some nice pictures here from the game, and of course we have some details about a lot of the other stuff. So again, really, really, really cool. There are a lot of exclusives. There's a lot of content in here. I think the season pass and all the free stuff is here. There is a free copy with the Stick of Truth. I already have that for PC. Might give that away to a friend when I get around to that. And the first thing we see is, of course, how to redeem your code and all the other stuff. So this here is pretty much the game itself. PC CD-ROM, who uses that these days, but I might actually use it simply because I might be able to play the game through there. We have Butters, made in China. Let's see if we can get that on camera. There we go. We have Butters right here. So it's a nice, cool pen.
Getting quoted by a Toshigami, I think, is a big deal.
Like, seriously way behind when it comes to South Park. I think I've seen like the first 3 seasons, and that's it. And we're on season 26 or 30 or whatever. So yeah, I'm not that traverse in the series. And I know that there should be a special, there's going to be a special episode from South Park before this year, which I'm a little bit sad about that they're doing that, because that means that I will maybe miss something regarding this year. So we have that here.
Boom. Thank you, sir.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about unboxing videos, Blood?
I'm not that into them for most things. I think it's really cool when there's a new console out.
Oh, sure.
Like I've loved doing that for that, and just like, okay, like what exactly do you get? What are the, the little ways that this, and sometimes just the packaging itself, and like how they manage to like cram everything in there. It's just like how like I think like even with the Wii U, like there are all these extra little stands and things, and it's like what do you do with this? What is this thing? Yeah. But yeah, in general, I don't feel like I gravitate that much to them, or like, oh, we definitely have to do this, and so it's one of those things that kind of escapes my radar. And somebody says like, we should make an unboxing video of that thing. It's like, oh yeah, you're right.
I would love to see like the construction of. I would like to see the opposite. I would love to see like the building of a collector's edition, like, or just the conception of it. It's like, is that imagined in a computer how everything's gonna fit, or like when they actually create the plastic molds that all this stuff fits in? Like, how is that designed? Is it one person that has the skills to actually model that in a 3D computer and know, like, yeah, all that stuff's going to fit together, and this is exactly what it's going to look like? Where is that person on the creative chain of making those creative decisions? I'm curious, like, how that stuff comes together. And I am awful because is this kind of video something we can submit in the future? Yeah. You can do videos, 3-minute max. It's got to, can't include video. It has to be content that you yourself own, or that is stuff that's free for us to show. Let me know if Sophie's chewing is getting annoying. Yeah, that's great. That's perfect. So that is Christoph Atui's work. You can go and, again, get the link there and check out his channel and follow his stuff if you would like. But I'm awful when it comes to toys. I rip those things open. Like I'm so much about like the thing that's in there that I do not appreciate the packaging. Like I've been around toy fans in the past and opened things in front of them, and like they were horrified. I'm just like, get me at that toy. All right.
I also think that another thing now is that like Sega will just do their own unboxing video. Nobody else has it. Like we're just gonna do this right now.
Right.
We're gonna get those hits.
I think I have the volume a little bit low on that one, so let me know. We got a music video here, so I'm gonna crank this puppy. So let me know what the levels are like on this one.
And wear your headphones.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. If we're that loud, then this will definitely So
Well,
hopefully be loud enough. But this comes from Max Miller,
If we did that with a game, it would be blasting.
who says, "Oh, this is awesome. I want to share a music video I made last year for one of my songs. It's called Pretty Waste. Here's the link to the video as well as the link to the full EP, 3 songs and 2 remixes on Bandcamp. I've been hiding away, taking my time to prepare a new EP to release under the new name for the past month. So hopefully, if you enjoy this, I will look forward to some more music in the future." Max, we would. Hopefully, you can create some fun things. This is less of a avenue to show off. We're not. This is MTV, but we would love to contribute. But getting a new song from Max every month. Might not be what the community showcase is all about, but Max is a patron, is a part of the Easy Allies community, and so we want to see what Max is all about. Here is one of Max's songs, entitled Pretty Waste. Catchy. Got that in my head now. That was a fun tune. Yeah, I'm curious if anyone in the community is familiar with Max's work. Obviously, that is we don't have a cool white set that we can shoot a music video on. I would love to get Ian on a set like that.
Super white set.
I'd love Ian yelling
They
at
used
all
to
of
do
us.
all the Wii stuff on those kind of sets.
But thanks, Max. Again, it would be I implores you to potentially maybe do a little something fun for the Allies specifically. It'd be fun, something we can do to represent the community, and not specifically all of the songs that you've been writing. But that's a pretty catchy song, Max, and thank you for submitting it. Mason Victoria. You're going to love this one, Blood. While I'm not catching up on sleep or video games, I spend my time composing music and directing my 21-person large ensemble,
Whoa.
the Sonuskapos Jazz Orchestra, based in Toronto, Canada. One of the most tedious tasks when writing large ensemble music is reviewing and editing each individual part, but all the incredible EZA content helps pass the time. After over a year of mixing, editing, and mastering, we are finally releasing our first full-length album on November 13th. The following excerpt is from a piece I composed named Imagine We're Sailing, which can be heard in full at ssjo.bandcamp.com. If you're an EZA patron, feel free to contact me at www.masonvictoriamusic.com/arranger for the full digital album free of charge.
Whoa.
Now that the album is nearly complete, I can't wait to get back to writing new music again. But Mario Odyssey is my first priority. Looking forward to the rest of the submissions. And something I love talking about this, Mason, but if you are submitting a video, keep the entry short, because we're also gonna watch your video for 3 minutes.
That title again? That title was interesting to me.
Mason was very kind to cut this down to 3 minutes. So here's a 3-minute chunk. And this is this music is very similar to the type of stuff I use for Cup of Jones and other things. So
Imagine we're sailing. Gosh, I feel like these need to be on Cup of Jones.
oh yeah. I can imagine we're sailing right now. I can do it. Oh, there, I did it. Pretty easy. James Bond vibes a little bit. Snakes DK says it's a good Sea of Thieves song, just kind of coasting along the sea, looking for places to pillage. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
It's a good mood to be set in. Yeah, thanks so much. What do you think about that, Bled? Is that so I know you do lots of music stuff. Do you ever get into jazz? Do you ever put on a concert? Some jazz?
I
And you do lots
I've
of
had some
chorale
jazz
work.
singers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much respect for people that can play that. Specifically, I saw chat bring up the horn section, man, on that. Like, so solid. Really, really nice sound. And as we have learned from this community comments, teaching people music,
Right.
getting a room of people that are all playing instruments to be in sync with each other is a deceptively difficult thing to do. But that was absolutely beautiful, and that was a really nice mood to be in. Alexander Breviglieri. Oh, and also you can check that out. You can only check out that song, but they got their new album. So from Mason Victoria, you can check that out. Patreon.com/EasyAllies. Alexander Breviglieri. Before the first amateur Gundam construction stream, I had a vague idea of what Gundam was. After watching you guys build Gundams together, I developed a fascination with everything Gundam related, and so did my wife. I even created a YouTube channel to show my love for them. So
Wow.
here's a video showcasing the master grade Gundam Heavy Arms that my wife finished while watching the latest stream on October 20th. Thank you all. Love and respect. Unfortunately, it has music on it that we cannot show, so I'm going to... we cannot play, so I'm going to make sure that music is out. Here we go. So we're going to get the video. You can imagine yourself the awesome Gundam music that is playing underneath this. But here's a quick visual update on the work Alexander Breviglieri has been doing. Sophie has decided it's time to wrap this up. We're getting close, Sophie. We only have 2 more videos to show. I love the red, man. Those red shoes really stand out. It's like Pee Wee Herman style, like just some sharp red shoes.
I was thinking it's Sonic, but...
Oh, Sonic, yeah.
Oh, nice. Wow.
I love the turning. I love just the angles.
Yeah.
Nice camera, too. Did you just on an iPhone or something? But it looks great. It's a classy backdrop, too. Oh, nice.
Oh,
The pilot.
The pilot? Doesn't Kyle just throw those away?
Little details. Does he? Does he really? That's horrible. Oh, we got the backpack on now. Oh, that's solid. I like the shield, too. The shield is sweet. Do some damage with that shield. Nice.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm glad the camera didn't cut that one off. Nice.
Little rack focus.
For scale. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Nice. Kyle tosses them. That's horrifying. Do they not fit inside somewhere? I mean, I could see that. Yeah, if they don't fit in there, that's one thing. Oh, look at the... Whoa. All the rockets are up now.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing opening up like that is great.
Yeah. Oh, we got the leg guns out now? Oh my goodness. Look out. Yeah, and there's no, we do not prohibit double dipping too. So if this is something you want to share in Gundam, because I know they do that occasionally,
Sure.
like they share
They send
updates
photos
and,
over Twitter,
and
yeah.
Tabletop Escapades in the past has been known to do stuff. We will gladly showcase that stuff here. If you are doing anything in the name of Easy Allies, it is more than appropriate for the community showcase. And like we said, we don't want to use this as a. Oh, I think the video might be over. So we want to use this, as strictly a promotional engine, for people. We have sponsorship stuff for that, but if. On behalf of another ally, if there was someone else, you'd be like, I would like to showcase the work that I know this other ally did, but they are not themselves a $10 and above patron, but I would like to showcase something that they did that I thought was cool, an image that I saw come up or something, and I am doing this with their permission.
Somehow the little plastic pilot ruins Kyle's immersion.
It's never, you
I
never
would
know
feel
what's
like it would
going
be the
to do it.
opposite, but
Yeah.
I don't build them. So
And again, along talking about limiting the promotion here on the Community Showcase, we have a post from Stellaire that is an introduction of a video game that she is working on. So we
Okay.
obviously do not want to continue the entire, advertising campaign of this video game over the next several months here at Easy Allies. But the first trailer, your announcement of this video game that you're working on, we are happy to show that. Stellaire says, "Hey Allies, I wanted to share this with y'all for a while now, but couldn't find the right place to do so. It's the first trailer for Fading Skies, a 3D platformer action adventure adventure I'm developing on my own. Some of you might, but most likely won't, remember it from one of the Love and Respect segments a while back. The trailer was a bit rushed because of an unexpected deadline, but I'm thinking about making an updated version in the near future. If you ever find the time, it would be awesome to get your feedback and suggestions so I can hopefully make a Trailer Jones approved version 2.0. Wow. Love and Respect, Stellaire. So here is the first trailer for Fading Skies.
Do we need
No, I gotta go down. Wait,
There it
wait,
is.
where it is? Do I have it up top?
No.
Oh, no, I lost it.
It's next to the bottom.
Oh, I've gone down. There it is. Boom.
Hold on! I figured that day wouldn't end well. But waking up in a stuffy old cave and the whole planet literally falling apart, that's not what I had expected. Nor did I expect that everyone would just give up on this world. Especially not you. I know there's a lot of stuff going wrong right now, but there's even more here worth saving. I won't let it all fade away.
Whee!
Wow.
Yeah! Yay! I dug it.
That is so much better than so many things I get in my email.
I'm telling you,
on a daily
man.
basis.
At
That
first,
is
that
really
was
good.
the perfect length. That was a great short length for a trailer. So that was a nice initial pitch. I actually one quick thing you could do that I wonder if that would make an impact. I'm curious to throw this at you, Blood. The first line, that's not what I was expecting. I would maybe put that at the beginning. What if that was the first thing you heard? You know, it was her like, well, that was not what I was expecting, and then you see her pop out, and rediscover this world. Scripts are narration like that's tough to write. It's tough
Yeah, I
to,
think the narration is probably the hardest part of that. The music was really good.
I think that could definitely go through a couple rewrites to really figure out the thing, because like it was.
Seeing a lot of variety in gameplay is great.
Yeah, I think it was when the conversation turned around like, yeah, but I always trusted you to help me. It's like, oh, now here's where it gets interesting. The first couple lines I think could get tweaked a little bit, but I really like that moment, and yeah, just introducing to the rest of that world. I love the piano notes as we're seeing these different environments, and definitely. I think one of the things that's key with games is knowing what works for their game and what they shouldn't advertise as much. And clearly, the taking off from the asteroid and flying out into the world was very emphasized, and rightfully so, because that was definitely the best part of seeing all of that. Was like, oh, okay, like. It's called Fading Skies, and you're showing the sky a lot, but maybe we can fly through the sky, and yes, we can. But yeah, looking forward to getting updates on that. Again, I don't know how willing we would be to put a Fading Skies trailer in every episode of the Community Showcase, but we would definitely love to hear more about that game moving forward. Thank you, Stellaire, for sharing. Finally, David Cleland. Hey, allies. I showed you a work in progress of my Titan mask on the last Gundam stream, and wanted to share the completed costume with you. Love and respect.
Oh,
Dave.
costume.
Oh yeah, get ready for this, Blood.
I don't think we've mentioned costumes.
Oh yeah,
before.
and this is extremely short. This is like 8 seconds long. So I just got this loop, so we're gonna watch this several times.
Oh wow.
So A plus with the sound design, and clearly there's some. He's framing this a little bit. He's done some work on the video, and I'm really curious actually how you got the background to just vanish, like really just, even if you just had like a simple light on you, like to really see absolutely nothing but just like the center of the image. But that's so disturbing and awesome. Like, I was kind of confused. I thought I was being trolled for a second when I first saw this, because I was like, what? This is like some weird animation. And then I can see the top of the suit in your neck, in the drawings and stuff, and was like, wait a minute. That's a dude in an outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is extremely unsettling and creepy and awesome.
Yeah, I have a friend who does a lot of... he's an actor who does a lot of like prosthetic work and stuff like that. And so when there was when he put up his Halloween costume, or it wasn't even really a costume, it was just like face paint.
Right.
But it was sort of similar to that, to where it was like he basically like had face paint that made him look like this like crazy jack-o'-lantern. And so it just like went all, like his mouth was just black. And then just jagged edges and stuff, and it was just super good. I don't know who did it for him, or if he did it himself, but.
So yeah, if you have cosplay that you're working on, you can also just take photographs of that stuff and send it to us. Obviously, Gundams that you're building and stuff, but like love the extra work you're done with video. That is so wonderfully disturbing. But yeah, let me queue up. I guess I can do that after that. I guess I can do that when we're gone. But yeah, so remember, stay tuned. Evo Show sent us something really funny as well that we want to show after the fact, but couldn't do with the music. And unlike the Gundam thing, it does not work without the music. You really need the music in there. So stay tuned if you're watching on twitch.tv/EasyAllies. But if you are watching on youtube.com/EasyAllies, this has been the first community showcase and the official community showcase for the month of October in 2017. Thank you so much to everybody that submitted. Again, this is the $10 and above tier on patreon.com/easyallies. The post will go up just before the end of the month, about a week to a week and a half before the end of the month. So this one will go up a week before the end of November. And then the very first week, I think Thursdays work out well. Thursday afternoons.
Yeah, I mean, I think this week is a little bit lighter on people's normal streams.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll find a time.
So this is, and worth noting, obviously the guidelines are evolving here, but this is a definitely an evolving show. I mean, you don't want to miss the Evo Show thing, so keep them close. But this whole process is evolving, the process of what we're picking and why, the specifics of the word counts and the running times of videos, especially since, we have some of these things that might be continuations of things that we're working on going from October to November. So we're going to have a lot to say about people's comments. Obviously, we do live, but we're going to have lots to say about how these go. We will be evolving the show as we move on about learning things and showcasing the wonderful work that our community does. If you'd like to be a part of that, again, $10 or above on patreon.com/easyallies. Look for that post at the end of the month and contribute. And a wonderful thank you to everybody that not only contributed this month, but contributed on top of supporting us at patreon.com/easyallies. It's something that we greatly appreciate, regardless of your participation level. And of course, we had a lot of people tuning in today and just watching it. And it's wonderful for them to support us, get the viewership on Twitch, the viewership on YouTube, but also to support the wonderful work that our allies are doing. So thank you to everybody that participated. What you think, Blood? Community Showcase.
Yeah.
There it is.
There's some really, really cool pieces in there, for sure.
But just in general, the vibe of I think
good vibes.
I think the good vibe. Sophie likes the vibe. Sophie's feeling it. I think the my favorite thing about this first episode of Community Showcase is that we did get a pretty wide range of people. We have photographs, we have art,
costumes,
models, all sorts of lots of different stuff. I mean, it will be totally fine. Again, if you're intimidated by a lot of this stuff and you're like, I can't write haikus, I don't build Gundams. Again, we would love a good conversation starter or just a quick update. Somebody just jumped in and said, hey, Super Mario Odyssey's a 10 out of 10. Like, we want that. If you are a $10 or above Patreon at patreon.com/easyallies, we want to hear anything and everything you have to say. Obviously, there are limits to that. We will find out what those are moving forward and do our best to communicate to you. But for the first episode, that was pretty darn spectacular. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And we will see you very soon.